clothes off before you freeze to death.
The governor sent me. It's a matter of great urgency. I must speak with your husband.
He's not well, Tom, but I know he'll be glad to see you. Come and sit by the fire. Roger, you must wake up. Tom Miller is here from Governor Winthrop.
Tom Miller? Aren't you a sight for sore eyes? What brings you all the way from Boston on a night like this?
The governor sent me, sir. I've ridden the whole way with no rest. But it's a matter of great urgency. Mr. Winthrop sends word of great danger for you. The magistrates want to send you back to England. They've dispatched Captain Underhill and his men to take you by surprise.
So, my high and mighty judges, they're not content with banishing me from the colony. Do they not know I am a sick man? Mary, some of that special tea, please. I would offer you some, but it's a rather bitter concoction. I was taught it by the wild Americans, the barbarians, as the Christians like to call them. And yet we are the ones who have stolen their birthright and occupied their homeland. And we call them barbarians. Thank you, dear.
And I've got something for you too, Tom.
So, it seems as though they are afraid I will find refuge in this wilderness and raise an army of malcontents and nonconformists. This is now their plan for my future. It's the dead of winter, and they want to send me on a ship back to England.
Perhaps England would be a welcome change. More civilized and all.
Civilized, you say? Let me tell you what going back to England means. Going back to England means falling into the merciful hands of the Archbishop William Laud. I can well remember how civilized he was when he condemned Alexander Leighton for following his own conscience.
Leighton?
No, you've not heard of him. As fine a Christian as walked. In civilized England, William Laud, in Christian kindness, you can be sure, condemned him to 36 stripes across his naked back, to have his ears cut off, his nose split, and his face branded. And then our Christian friend had him pilloried in the frost and snow. Oh. I suppose my crimes are worse than his. I am to be hounded from my home and family for standing in support of freedom, for preaching the gospel of liberty, and for upholding the rights of every man, even the Indian. Tom Miller, thank you for bringing me this news. Go to the governor and thank him for his warning. I tell him I am not for England. I will live free in this new world, whatever the cost.
But, sir, what if...
No arguments, my lad. I'll be fine. I know this good land far better than Captain Underhill, I can assure you of that. And go now. And God be with you.
And with you, sir.
Good lad, that. Mary, those things you set aside for me, I need them now. I will leave tonight.
Tonight? But you're ill. If you go out in that storm, it will be the death of you.
It will be the death of me if Underhill catches me here. I must be gone and far off before he and his men ever arrive. Those things, please.
Yes, I've got them here. I'm not sure which is worse, having Underhill catch you or you catching your death out in the storm.
I'll take my chances with the storm any day.
At least, kiss your babies goodbye. They will miss you terribly, as will I.
Do not disturb them. You will all be in my thoughts every waking moment. And God willing, we will be together very soon. I must go now. If Underhill catches me here, you may well be in danger yourself.
Corria o mês de janeiro de 1636, quando Roger Williams deixou sua família e o seu lar para enfrentar o tremendo frio daquele inverno na América do Norte. A fuga dele foi um ato de desafio contra um sistema repressivo. Foi um momento de definição na causa da liberdade religiosa que teria um impacto significativo na história do repouso do sétimo dia. Olá, meu nome é Fernando Iglesias e estou muito feliz por chegarmos juntos ao 9º programa da série O Sétimo Dia. Os historiadores e os biógrafos representam a Roger Williams como um homem de convicções firmes, coração terno, determinado e de vontade invencível. Ele era apaixonado pelos direitos individuais de cada pessoa e defendia a separação entre a igreja e o Estado, um conceito verdadeiramente radical no mundo onde a religião se fazia cumprir pela lei civil. Depois de fugir de Salém, ele partiu em direção ao sul através do mato sem trilha alguma, sobrevivendo com o que podia tirar do solo florestal. Afinal, encontrou abrigo entre as tribos nativo-americanas que viviam na baía de Narragansett. Seus inimigos devem ter se alegrado por livrar-se dele, mas sua família e amigos desejavam saber se ele sobrevivera ao cruel inverno.
I'm sorry. I'm looking for my friend, Mr. Roger Williams. I was told you may know about him. Well, he was very sick and is more than likely...
He's more than likely been nursed back to health by his good friends and is doing just fine, thank you.
Mr. Williams!
So, my young friend, you finally found me. Well enough. Does the governor still remember me? I could use some news about Salem or Boston. Come, sit down. Tell me.
Well, sir, Mr. Winthrop bade me find you and wishes for news that you are well. And Mrs. Williams sends her love, too, and says that she and your daughters are fine and hope to see you soon.
I am well, as you can see. And thanks to God and the kindness of my red friends here, I shall soon have a grant of land, and fairly earned.
This is the land of liberty you are seeking.
Liberty, inalienable rights, and no power of government over spiritual matters. Does it seem strange to you that I claim freedom for every man? Well, the Puritans of Boston used the sword to enforce their religion. But to force religion on an unwilling convert is nothing less than the rape of a soul. See, Tom, the sword of man can force an entire nation into a sort of formal religious pretense. But that is worthless before God. It is only the sword of his spirit that can rightly rule over matters of conscience. So, when you go to the governor, tell him, I must act according to my conscience. I will have a land of freedom, where men may live and worship according to their consciences. And take word to Mary that I will send for her soon. I miss her and the babies very much. My youngest is named Freeborn, which is exactly what she is. I am determined that she will grow up